Hello, welcome to another edition of Cooking with Dom. Today we're going to make one of my favourite dishes, Miso Aubergines, affectionately known as aubergine crack, or sometimes vegan crack, because they are so Moorish. Unfortunately, I had almost none of the ingredients for this. So there's a lot of replacements in my recipe, but I will mention what all of them should be. So we have sweet white miso. That is what I wanted. It's not the brand I usually buy, but it is tasty. It says so there. So yeah, white miso paste. Soy sauce. Yes, this is soy sauce, but this is gluten-free. So this is tamari. Thickens up slightly differently. Tastes similar. You should be using soy sauce. Muscovado sugar. I would prefer maple syrup or agave syrup, but oh well. Cayenne pepper. Nope, don't have any of that. So paprika and or chili flakes, depending on how hot you want to make it. And tahini. I know, the worst. Waitrose didn't have any tahini, so I had to make some from scratch. Don't do that. It's far too much work. Buy it in a jar. And of course, the humble aubergine, the star of the dish. For one aubergine, which is how much I'm making, I need about 100 grams of miso. 50 grams of tahini, or just half of what you've got in miso. 50 grams of our sweetener, so maple syrup, sugar, agave, etc. 50 mils of soy sauce, which you can see I'm doing all of this by eye because we're going to check flavours in a moment. Give it a mix. Give it a taste. Mine isn't quite sweet enough, so I'm going to increase that. And then a pinch of spice. And hopefully yours will look a lot smoother than mine because you didn't make the tahini yourself. And now to the aubergine. Some people might like to leave the end on, I don't. And then we want to do one long cut to make 2 aubergine boats. And then take your knife and carefully score the flesh. Like this. The aim is to get into the flesh but not pierce or break the skin on the back. These cuts will allow the marinade and the sauce to penetrate into the aubergine itself. And now we put our aubergine into an oven-proof dish and drizzle some olive oil on top. Healthy amount of salt. And black pepper. This is going to go into an 180-degree oven for around 10 to 15 minutes. What we're looking for is all of the flesh to be soft, a bit of colour on top, but it not to be falling apart or burnt. And here are our aubergines out of the oven, ready to be slathered in our tasty, tasty sauce. Now the sauce is quite thick, so you can just place it on top and use the fact that the heat will let it spread. And because of its viscosity, you can be quite generous with this sauce and pile it up quite high. It shouldn't run everywhere and end up in the tray. I'm going to be serving my aubergines with a wild mushroom stir fry. So the ingredients are a shallot, any onion will do, this is just what I've got in my cupboard. Slice your shallot. A fantastic collection of wild mushrooms. Yeah, all sorts. Oyster mushrooms, shiitake mushrooms, some monstrosity I've never heard of. Great. With the mushrooms, you sort of just want them all roughly the same size, so any bigger, firmer chunks just cut up. And we're aiming for strips, so the oyster mushrooms you can actually just peel. One of the reasons it's good to go with long, thin things in a stir fry is that they tessellate well with the noodles. And there's all our mushrooms chopped and stripped, and 2 cloves of garlic. If you've watched some of our other videos, you know that we like to soak garlic in boiling water to help the skins come off. I didn't do that this time, so I'm just going to rely on top, tail and crush. And our sliced garlic. As for the noodles, I'm using a packet of straight to wok noodles because I'm hungry and it's quicker, and like everything else in this recipe, it's what I've got in the house. Tradition dictates that this should also have ginger in it, or fresh ginger. Please do if you like that. I don't really like fresh ginger in my stir fries, so I'm not going to. Here we have a glug of oil in a pan over medium-high heat, to which I'm going to add my onions. And add your garlic. Unfortunately, I dropped that in before I started pressing record, so yes, there is garlic in there, I promise. And add your mushrooms. And to our cooked mushrooms and onions, I'm going to add my noodles. Feel free to add a splash of soy sauce to this, maybe some sweet chili sauce, rice wine, anything you enjoy in a stir fry. But as for flavours, this is done as it is. And here we have our aubergines out of the oven, ready to go on the plate. Miso and tahini baked aubergines on a wild mushroom stir fry. Just needs a little garnish. Just going to be sprinkling of sesame seeds. Lovely.